I think it's so fucking funny that Korean women are so done with Korean men that they're literally just deciding to die out. Y'all heard of the 4B movement? I'm a big fan. Korean women literally just gave up on their men. They're like, they're fucking assholes. They're not gonna change, so we're all gonna go extinct. Which they literally are. By the way, Korea has like the lowest birth rates in the world. It's like really bad. But I just think that's so fucking funny. That's also very Korean. Like, Korean as an ethnicity is about to go away, and Korean women are literally just like... I think it's so fucking funny that Korean women are so done with... Comments, but I've been skimming, and so far my takeaway is that all the girls agree with me, and there's like a couple fucking incel bros that are like, ugh, feminism cause a birth rate going down. Shit. First of all, it's not our fucking responsibility to fuck you. Maybe get a haircut, go to the gym, go to college. Bitch, I don't fucking know. Also, saying that feminism is the cause of birth rates going down is like saying that electric vehicles are contributing to climate change. Like, you're not looking at the fucking problem, you idiot. Get off my page. Get hot. Get laid. It's not my fucking problem.
Below what you think about this particular issue. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. Okay, love you so much. It's not something that we have to go on a rampage and convince women of. Look, the women that are okay with being mistreated, they're going to stay there and they're going to keep being mistreated. But more and more, even more and more of those women will willingly, once they see what's on the other side, and they have had one after the other of the male species acting and behaving in the same way, they will willingly come by themselves, okay, to this 4B movement, okay, by themselves to the conclusion that whether or not they want to slap the 4B movement label on it, you know what? I'm not going to go chasing after a male. If he comes, he comes. If he doesn't come, he doesn't come. I'm just going to focus on my life, travel, do what I want to do. And I also have bills to pay. So I'm just going to focus on that and fulfilling my goals and my dreams. You know what? Maybe it's a better option just to adopt a kiddo instead of having a kiddo of my own. And I can just take care of the kiddo since I'm in a place that I can take care, or I can take that on without a male being involved. These are natural things that happen due to the need for having to adapt, okay, to an oppressive society that is oppressive to women. Okay, it's natural. So naturally speaking, there's no like, oh, is this going to stick? Is this not going to stick? It's just going to be more and more women will join just because males suck. That's it. That's the easiest way to put it.
Just get your shit and go.
The 4B movement in Korea is a very, very small fraction of the whole Korean population in general. It's just the Western media likes to highlight that part and make it seem like it's the biggest issue in Korea.
salary doesn't even matter when women can't even get leave for their pregnancy. Women are fully expected to quit their jobs or they get let go. So sometimes even during the hiring process, hiring managers will ask, do you plan on getting pregnant? Because they want to know if you have the potential to leave. And if so, then they won't hire you in the first place. I know this is all over the place, but try and stay with me. The reason I really just wanted to come on here and talk about this, by the way, is because I'm seeing how my fellow Korean people who are uneducated about these very real symptomatic issues of a larger societal issue in our culture, I feel like it's preventing us from progressing, honestly, as a humanity. And it's just living in denial about very real pressing matters that we have the ability to fix. And I'm seeing how, at least for Korean women, we hold a lot of internalized misogyny. And I don't blame us for that, because how could you not, considering the culture we come from? But this is a modern world, and we really need to expand our consciousness. And if we want to progress as a human being, then we need to be willing to hear the other side. Another very real problem in South Korea is actual crimes. A lot of foreigners and Koreans alike love to tout that, yes, Korean women feel safe walking alone at night at 3 a.m., coming home from the bar, walking the streets alone. And while I have been that Korean woman myself whenever I was visiting and partying it up out there, I feel like, again, people are looking at things from a very superficial lens. Sure, South Korea, they don't have guns. Sure, they don't have gun violence in South Korea. That's not a thing because guns are not legalized over there. Trigger warning here, I'm going to talk about SA. I don't even know where to begin to talk about this because I have a lot to say on this topic. But the South Korean justice system is a joke. And I believe that also is another symptom of a very large issue, a societal issue in South Korea. For instance, rapists and SAers, their sentencing is hardly enough to justify the crimes that they committed against women, young girls, young boys. And oftentimes these abusers get off on probation. And then once they're released from their crimes, there's no other laws protecting them from hurting more victims. Their justice system is a joke. It's abysmal and it's pathetic, and I'm going to shout that from the rooftops until I die. Because I am an SA survivor myself, and I'm a huge advocate for victims and survivors alike. I just feel like SA gets brushed under the rug heavily in East Asian culture, and I think this is something that needs to be highlighted. Because a lot of these SA crimes happen within families. And because our culture is so contingent on saving face and not bringing shame to our family, many victims are expected to suffer through it alone. Another thing that I feel like Anna failed to mention is the fact that we have very defined gender roles in Korean society. That's still very ingrained in just East Asian culture in general, but it is very embedded in Korean society from my personal observation and experience. For instance, if you guys watch K-dramas, there's always some kind of line in there with the male lead or the female lead saying something like, oh, a man's supposed to be like this. 남자가 이렇게 해야 되잖아. 남자는 이런 거잖아. And that just cringes me the fuck out. It's just like, way to continue to perpetuate these gender roles that you desire to escape from secretly.
Then you come in the presence of a woman whom you are supposed to be serving, because males, that is the only purpose that they have. That's the only purpose that they could ever have, is to serve women. That is their true role, right? If we look back at history, wars have been fought over women. Males fighting wars over women. Their purpose is to serve women. And ironically, when they're actually fulfilling that purpose is when they're the happiest, but they don't even, they're so unhealthy and they're so unevolved, right? That processing is not connecting for them, right?
She said the quiet part out loud.
It's about a professional dancer named Young Jae. He's from Street Woman Fighter. He had been grooming this young girl, a student of his, at his studio, and he impregnated her, which is why so many of his street crew members or whatever, his dance studio members, all quit on the spot. So why I wanted to bring the current Young Jae situation up is because not only is it relevant, but it also just goes to show you that due to the hierarchical nature of Korean society, abuse of power happens on so many levels in every facet of Korean society. And I can attest to that personally. I've obviously seen it play out in my family dynamics. I've seen it play out in work dynamics. I've seen it play out in my parents and how they communicate with their peers. It's just something that is so ingrained in the fabric of the makeup of Korean society that it's no wonder that such a radical feminist movement such as the 4B movement spurred up in the first place.
Hey, hola, mis amores, ¿cómo están? Hi, my loves, how are you doing today? So we're back with another video. So here, we're going to talk a little bit more about the importance of the 4B movement, what it actually entails, and really the foundational purpose or meaning behind it, and why each individual woman should partake if they so find that they resonate with the messaging of the 4B movement, right?
I posted this video a little while ago, and the comments, men are so mad. All the comments are like, Who's gonna kill the spider for you? Who's gonna open up that mayo jar for you? What if you get a flat tire? Yeah, well, we want you to leave us alone. Bro, like, you're the ones who can't leave us alone. I just went down all the comments and found all the angry comments from men and block, 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 block. Thank you for waving your red flags as high as you possibly could so I can stay away from you. My content isn't even for men.
So one thing that I know that a lot of people fail to mention when it comes to the 4B movement is just the fact that, listen, this is the combination of a lot of issues that males have created now coming to a clash. Okay. So I know that a lot of the focus, especially for a lot of women, is how they are treated by males, how they are mistreated by males. And that is a global issue. Okay. That is a global issue. I don't really know. I mean, we can read it throughout history and get an idea of how we got to this place where males just, I don't know, they kind of lack a certain foundation or basis for being human, right? It's like that empathy is just not there. That regard is not there. And you know, we're getting to a place, and we've kind of gotten to this place where the culmination of a lot of issues, especially the issues being that the issues were created by males in the first place, has hit a wall. It's really hit a wall. And so women are just no longer willing and wanting to participate in this structure anymore, or at least a lot of women aren't. Okay. You're always going to have those women that are more than happy to, you know, spread their legs wide open for free or spread their legs wide open for 50-50 and then, you know, kind of lie to themselves and justify to themselves because, you know, they're mentally weak. Okay. So, but on the alternative side, we're seeing more and more and more women choose the alternative because, you know, really what it comes down to is just that more and more women are just suffering too much. It's just too much suffering. That's really what it comes down to. More and more women are suffering too much at the hands of males. I should really be more clear about what I mean when I say that, right? So it's just that more and more women are finding that, hey, this is too much suffering for males. It does not make sense anymore, right? So every other day I'm suffering because of a male, you know, whether it's males trying to play all these mental or psychological games. Well, let me wait 2-3 days and then I'll text her, send 2 text messages, and then I'll stop texting and then text again in 3 or 4 days. You know, all of these things that somehow males manage to do in unison. They always do it as a whole. So you'll notice that when the negative behaviors, when males exhibit negative behaviors, they're able to really quickly spread it amongst themselves. And so the mass of them, the mass majority of them start exhibiting that same negative behavior, that same negative trait, right? And what males don't realize is you think you're hurting us, but in reality, you're hurting yourself, right? It's your own species that's not going to grow. It's your own species that continues to deteriorate. You continue to deteriorate because with these behaviors, you cannot say to me that you have a purpose. You cannot say to me that you've sat down and actually taken the time to think about what your purpose is here on planet Earth. And what happens when humans don't have or don't feel like they have an internal purpose? It is miserable. Right. So males have been misbehaving so much so, and it's more than misbehavior, right? It's like you're unaliving women on a global scale. On a global scale. As a matter of fact, women that are in relationships with males are in the greatest danger for being unalived or for physical abuse. Okay. You are mistreating women, hurting their feelings on a global scale. On a global scale, you are insisting that women should not and cannot get paid as much as you do when you don't even do 1/3 of what women do. Not in the workplace and not at home. Never.
Women literally just gave up on their men. They're like, they're fucking assholes. They're not going to change. So we're all going to go extinct.
No heterosexual marriage, no childbirth, no dating men, and no heterosexual relationships. These are the vibes of the 4B movement in South Korea. It's basically a feminist movement protesting against the country's rampant misogyny and advocates women to reject gender norms, including marriage and having kids. The 4Bs stand for the 4 principles in Korean, coined in 2016 by the author Cho Nam-ju. Now it's blowing up on TikTok, especially after these YouTubers on their platform platform Solidarity said that marriage is the root cause of patriarchy. But a recent catalyst of the movement may also be incidents of high-profile murders of women, revenge porn, and spy cam sex crimes. Lots of people online are saying it's a long time coming and it's a rational response to the male-dominated culture of South Korea. You can also see women from other countries expressing solidarity with the 4B movement and wanting it to spread. Some critics of the 4B movement are claiming it's the reason behind the low birth rate in South Korea. South Korea has the world's lowest birth rate and hit an all-time high in 2023 of only 0.78 kids per woman. But others argue that the low birth rate is due to economic reasons, like poor job prospects, the high cost of raising kids, unaffordable housing, and long working hours. And the gendered reasons. Mothers face discrimination in the workplace, gender-based violence is prevalent in relationships, and women are expected to take on the majority of household burdens.
So when it comes to hurting women on a global scale, I mean, they're the number one suitors. Okay. They're the number one suitors. And the thing is, ladies, what I want you, one of the most important things that I want you to take away from this is just the aspect of, I hear a lot of comments that are made when it comes to, well, is this movement going to stick? Is it a concept that's going to stick? Is it something that's actually going to work? Women in the West aren't strong enough to uphold this particular ideology or concept. Well, let's use our brains for a second. Okay. The 4B movement is not a new movement. That is not a new rhetoric. That's not a new concept. Okay. 4B movement started in South Korea. And now we all know that South Korea's birth rate is at 0.80%. Actually, I think someone said that it's actually at 0.7 now. So I'll have to check on that, but it's somewhere around that range and it continues to decline. It's not plateauing. It's not increasing. It's declining. Okay. The birth rate is declining. They're not having any children. Why? Because women aren't happy. It is not a suitable environment. The environment that the males have created does not make sense for women. And it does not make sense to continue to procreate and bring innocent lives and souls into a world that is that disgusting, that looks that disgusting, right? And that's across the world. That's across the world. Birth rates have been declining across the world. Even here in the US, we're currently at around that 1.6. The replenishment rate is 2.1. Right. So although a big reason for that, in my opinion, a big reason for that, and based on the data as well, is the global mistreatment, the continuous global mistreatment of women that has been happening for decades and decades. Right. We all know that there are other issues such as, well, women aren't getting paid enough in the workplace. Why are women always the ones that have to do all the work at home? And then on top of that, they go to work only to end up not getting paid not as much as their male counterparts that aren't even doing what they are doing or as much as they are doing. It does not make sense. And then we have compounding issues such as, well, the prices on everything are going up. However, the amount of money that people are making is not going up. Right. And then we have the compounding social issues that we just talked about, where males are just not good species to be around. They are not good human. Like, I struggle at this point to call that species human beings. Like, I can't, like, how can you be a human and treat someone else in this way? It does not make sense to me. I cannot comprehend it. Okay. And I'm talking about their species as a whole. Okay. Their species as a whole. I don't want to hear about, oh, there's good guys out there, like the needle in the haystacks, that for some reason they're the needle in the haystack, but yet they refuse to keep their own species under control. So even that concept is debatable on whether or not they are so-called good. Right. So the thing about this, as far as, is it going to stick? Is it going to, the thing about it is it started in South Korea. It's not new. It's been there for years and it's getting worse and worse. So whether you choose to acknowledge that or not, that's on you. Okay. It's not a matter that we're way past the question of, is it going to stick or not? Right. There's nothing to stick. It's here. It's been here. Okay. Actually, it's getting so bad that now it's in the West. And the reason the West and women from the West have picked up on it is because males in the West have done so much damage as a collective whole. What do I mean by that? That means the majority of males in the West are behaving in the same way. They are harassing women. They are abusing women. They are hurting women emotionally and psychologically, gaslighting them, in the masses. So they have done it to the point where this is now an issue, right? Women in the West have picked up on, what's that 4B movement that you're talking about? What are y'all doing over there, right? And they resonate with it so much. So they connect with the experiences that, women in the 4B movement and the foundation and the reason for the 4B movement being around, they connect with those experiences so much so, okay, that they have now taken that on. So my point being, this is a big problem for males. Okay. Males have a big problem on their hands. Okay. Because it's not really a thing where, oh, is it going to stick or is it not going to stick? Women, we don't really have to do anything. You know, as a woman, when you try over and over again, okay, and what you're doing is not working, you end up more unhealthy, you end up more unhappy, you keep trying to please this male that you cannot please. Okay, you're going to have less and less women that are even physically able to give birth to children. It's too much stress. It's too stressful. You're going to have less and less women that are even physically able to care for these kids, if there are kids to care for, right? You're just going to have a human race that's just operating more and more below minimal levels. Okay. And when you start having that, you're going to naturally have women that say, never mind. No, thank you. And you know what's happened at that point? Well, we're at this point, not because, the reason we're at this point is because it's been happening for years. Males have been doing this for years, and it's been piling up little by little and little by little. And here we are. Okay. So we don't have to convince, point being, we don't have to convince the mass majority of women to do anything. Okay. The males have already been doing that for us, and they continue to do that for us. Every time they insult us, their red pill movements on the internet, who wants to be around that? Who wants to sit there and be insulted 24/7? It doesn't make sense. And so one, if not the biggest strengths that women have is adaptability. Okay. Oh, I'm not wanted in this environment. These males don't want me. I don't feel like spending my life looking for a needle in the haystack. That's not a good use of life that I only get one of. All right. What are the alternatives? Can I be happy by myself? Can I be happy alone? What activities can I do to fill up my time, to meet new people, to make more friends, to make the type of women friendships that I would like, that would help me feel fulfilled? Where are the different places that I haven't visited around the world, that I haven't traveled to? These are natural occurrences. Okay. It just happens naturally. Right. So they have a big problem that they're not wanting to acknowledge. It's happening naturally because of the way males have been treating women this whole time.
Do I agree with the 4B movement in theory? Yes. But do I have a problem with the 4B movement? Yes. Because somebody did not do their fucking algebra from the top. Solve for X. X is an independent variable. Independent variables do not change. X equals abusive ass fuckboys. Abusive ass fuckboys do not change. You can deal with them or not deal with them. You can fuck them or you cannot. None of that shit is relevant because independent variables do not change. Abusive ass fuckboys do not change. So you can choose to not fuck abusive ass fuckboys. That does not mean that abusive ass fuckboys are not going to fuck, because abusive ass fuckboys do not change. You are not going to stop abusive ass fuckboys from fucking. They're just going to take it. Fuckboys have had 500 years to become better. They're never going to become better because they do not change. And they're not going to let you stop them from doing what they're doing either. Every day just going to feel like you dancing at junior bachelor party, Ebony. So unless 4B equals 4 Berettas, you better be prepared, because
100% agree. I'm from the South, the deep South, and we like to say it's going to be a whole lot of slow singing and flower bringing. And if you know, you know. I have said on 2 videos now, we are going to have to protect ourselves. I said it in the first video where I stitched the guy who kept telling us, oh, you just have to give out the phone number. You just have to bite the bullet, give out the phone number. I said it on another video when Christina Jackson went missing, and that guy's answer was, oh, y'all just need to stay in the house. And to which I said, we're absolutely not staying in the house. I have also said men don't understand words, but they do understand action. If you are a woman, I 100% advocate for carrying a Mouska tool. I am pro-carry. I am pro-protect yourself. Please do not misconstrue what I'm saying. Do not go out here and be as wild as our male counterparts. I am saying you have every right to protect yourself.
So instead of empathizing with us, when we talk about these terrible experiences with these men, y'all blame us for how men treat us and how they act. It's always, you should have picked better, instead of holding your fellow man accountable for their actions or apologizing on their behalf. We're going to do better, queen. But no, y'all always place the blame on us. And now that we done found a fucking solution to the problem, since y'all ain't gonna fix it, we'll fix it. We're just gonna leave y'all the fuck alone. and y'all do whatever the fuck y'all want to do without us. But let me not. Cause it's gonna be some pick me ass bitches that's gonna still remain, out in the open for y'all to grab them and pick them. But I guarantee you it's gonna be bitches that y'all don't even want to have shit to do with. Y'all not gonna be attracted to them hoes at all. So good luck. Good luck with them hoes and your homeboys. Cause y'all, like I said, y'all made this bed laying. What the fuck is y'all mad for? And y'all can think this shit cap if y'all want to. This 4B movement came from South Korea. The South Korea bitches stood so hard on business that they don't even have first grade classes to enroll this year in several different schools. They don't even have enough children to put in a first grade class because them bitches said, nah, y'all want to act like y'all fucking stupid? You're not going to have no legacy to leave behind.
So that's what I think when it comes to this issue. Now, when it comes to African-American women, I agree with the statements, some of the statements that I hear as far as African-American women, I don't know what took African-American women so long. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, the abuse that they suffered, boy, oh boy. It's like, I can't believe it took them this long to get with the program. But that kind of plays right back into what I've been saying, which is like, hey, we didn't just stumble into this territory, right? Right? This is something that has been boiling over for a long time. And when you take your time to build something like this, and where it takes a long time to get to this point, it's not something that you're just going to stumble across of. It's just going to be a lifestyle that most women will choose because they've seen the alternative. And that's how change, not even change, that's how we come to this place, right? Where now you're having more and more women, because each woman individually. So ladies, this is what I want you to take away with this. It's like, you choose it for yourself. It's an individual choice. And what's happening is we can start to see the results of that. Each woman individually is choosing to not have anything to do with males, because what's the purpose? Done that, been there, seen it, uninterested. And each woman individually is having such a negative experience dealing with the male species, because the male species they're exhibiting all of these negative characteristics on a mass and as a whole, right? Which is affecting each woman individually. And so we're having each woman individually make the decision to stay away from males for the most part, just be like, no thanks. You know what I mean? Like, beyond an acquaintanceship, I can't do it, right? And so each woman individually is making that decision. And then what ends up happening is you just have more and more women making that decision, which is how we ended up where we are now, which is like, there's a lot of women here that are making this decision. And now we have social media, so we can communicate with each other, and you're doing that too. Oh my gosh, you've been doing that too. So, now you're gaining, strength by numbers, because women don't have to feel alone in this decision any longer, like the patriarchy has for decades and decades tried to make them feel.
It has been absolutely hilarious to me to see men in this country losing their collective shit over the 4B movement. For those of you that don't know what it is, the movement started in South Korea, a society that is very misogynistic. The 4Bs refer to 4 words in Korean, which I'm not going to pronounce, but I will put right here and tell you what they mean. No hetero marriage, no childbirth, no dating men, and no hetero relationships. The women in South Korea are fighting back against a society that treats them horribly. And many in the US now are starting to take up that movement as well. And you know what? I'm all for it, because the fact is, women have been fighting for centuries to be treated with the same level of respect and dignity that men are. And even though they have more rights than they used to have 70 years ago, there are far too many men in this country that think women shouldn't be able to vote or work or own a house. That the only purpose of women in our society is to take care of the house and have children. It's absolutely ridiculous that women are still fighting against this level of misogyny in 2024. It's sad that for all men's statements of protecting women, it's actually more about controlling them. It's time for society to change. And if women need to take on the 4B movement in America to do it, you have my support.
Right. So it's not like a thing that's going to go, it's not going anywhere, because males are not going to stop mistreating women. That I firmly believe that they will never stop. They will not stop mistreating women. I believe that what the future looks like is most women choosing to not be with males. We have a lot more groups for women and organizations for women led by women. And we have a lot more of a separation, a healthier separation between males and females. And, that's what I think this is going to look like. And we have a lot more women that learn how to prioritize respect for themselves as opposed to prioritizing, the male ego. Okay. Because that's a lot of what that comes down to too, especially for African American ladies. The amount of disrespect that they eat on a daily basis, it's astonishing to me. It's like, whew, goodness gracious. Like the fact that you're okay living like this is beyond me. Right. So they were slow. I agree. Very, very slow to the game, to the point where very, very annoying. You couldn't even say anything about black males and they'll come for your head. And the black males that are being talked about, they don't even defend themselves, much less defending those women. Right. So it makes African American women look even dumber. You look dumb with all the defending you've been doing, and your own male's species they wouldn't even lift a pinky finger to have anything to do with you or have anything to do with your defense. Right. Meanwhile, as soon as we hear a Caucasian female come with any type of complaint on social media, it's all over the news. Now, there's several reasons for that, of course. Now, one of the reasons, all the Caucasian males, playing the role of like, how could you better not, blah, 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 right? So they get more support, right, from their own men. So African-American ladies, this is to tell you, and I will say, disclaimer, from my experience, even Caucasian males are not, males in general are just not a good species to be around from a mass perspective, from a whole perspective, right? What do I mean by that? That means most of them, at least 90 to 95% of them, are trash, complete trash. Okay. That's what that means. So you have to decide personally whether or not you want to spend the rest of your life looking for the needle in a haystack, looking for that 1 to 5%. Okay. And even when you find the 1 to 5%, now you have to start wondering and questioning, is he really a 1 to 5%? If he is not even standing up and contributing to society as a whole, right, by keeping his own species in check, right? Because most males will sit there, oh yeah, bro, dab, high five, blah, 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 right? And they don't even keep each other in check. This is why. The only time they keep each other in check is for negative things. When they talk about mistreating women, when they talk about abusing women, when they talk about, women being single mothers, right? But then they come back and tell you, oh, but you're a single mother, and they'll look down on you for that. You cannot win underneath this patriarchy and the current rules and laws. Get it through your head, right? So African American women are starting to find more respect for themselves because you are disrespecting yourself when you do that. You can love someone, you can care about them, even if it's a him, right? You don't got to be with him. If he's disrespecting you, he's gone, right? And that's the level that most women have to get to. What's sad about it is getting to that level. It's like most women have been forced to get to that level because the mistreatment is so drastic from the male species. It's just so terrible. It's so bad. It's so bad. So anywho, those are my thoughts on the issue. Leave it in the comments below what you think about this particular issue. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. Okay, love you so much.
I don't know what's so funny about this fake 4B outrage from the men. Is that anytime a woman expresses her terrible experiences with a man, then it's always, you should have picked better. So now we're not picking at all, and you motherfuckers got a problem with it. Then don't let us talk about our deadbeat ass baby daddies. Then you should have kept your fucking legs closed. So now we choosing not to fuck y'all at all, and y'all still got a problem with that. Then it's always, y'all bitches asking for too much. Y'all some gold diggers. Y'all want us for our money. Now we not asking y'all for a fucking thing. Absolutely nothing. Just leave us the fuck alone. And y'all got a problem with that. Then when women start talking about how they want a ring, they want to get married, then is a ring shouldn't, determine how much I love you. And a marriage is just a piece of paper. We don't have to do that. So now that bitches don't even give a fuck to get married no more. Y'all got a problem with that. Women get blamed for being the single mothers who actually stay with the kids while the man go out and create 7 more single parent homes. And now y'all mad because we don't want to have no more kids at all. And if we don't have no kids right now, we not ever gonna have none.
And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.